us what was here.
The living room.
This is the living room.
The kitchen. It was my mother's room.
For Carmen Torres Gonzalez, home is now a distant memory.
Where's your furniture? All gone?
No sé.
More than 20 years of her life built here in San Lorenzo, Puerto Rico, now reduced to blocks of concrete and piles of wood.
What of all the stuff here has been the hardest thing to lose?
La casa.
The house.
It's been 6 long months since Carmen and 3 million others living on this island found themselves at the mercy of Hurricane Maria. Carmen, from the safety of her neighbor's house, watched as Category 4 winds of up to 155 miles per hour ripped apart her home.
So many people have left. Why stay? Do you want to stay here?
Where?
Here.
I want my house back.
But rebuilding is a daunting task. Officials say Hurricane Maria left $100 billion worth of damages in its wake. No power, no cell service, trees and landslides blocking roads and separating families. Still, 6 months later, Puerto Rico's governor tells us that the island has so much further to go.
Of course, the last mile, as they call it, is really the toughest one to get to. It's mountains and small communities that are somewhat isolated. So now is when sort of the real work begins.
One of those areas, Morovís, located in the center of the island. We were first able to make the journey here just 6 days after the storm. The bridge from San Lorenzo to the neighboring town of Morovís was gone.
This used to be part of the bridge that has now completely collapsed in the force of Hurricane Maria's wind. This town now completely isolated.
Families forced to wade the treacherous waters with only a wire to hold on to.
So what are you having to do?
We got to cross, we got to walk little by little.
Today, the floodwaters have receded. Cars are able to cross, and the new bridge is almost done.
This is where the electricity would come from, and you can see that pole is knocked over.
Across the street,
Hola.
we come across the Rodriguez family.
Eva.
Mari.
Nice to meet you.
Their home is still intact, but like all her neighbors, they are still without power.
No tengo luz en la sala.
She's telling us that they've actually switched their stove to gas so that they can cook on it. They have candles, little candles they're putting all over the house.
She tells us they've spent over $3,000 on gas for the generator. It only powers their home at night. Officials say electricity has been restored to 93% of the island, but 100,000 customers are still without power.
There hasn't been a day since the storm that a maximum effort hasn't been put underway to get the power back.
FEMA says at one point it gave out 1,800 generators across the island. 885 are still in use. For Hurricane Katrina in both Mississippi and Louisiana at its max, they only gave out 310.
The bad news is it was tragic. Okay, the good news is we get a chance to build it back the right way.
How long will you guys be here?
As long as it takes, but 5 to 10 years is not outside the realm of the possible.
Nearly 3 hours away, the town of Yabucoa, where Maria made landfall, is also still waiting to see the light.
Tenemos cerca del 65% de la población sin servicio de energía eléctrica.
Mayor Rafael Cerrillo Ruiz tells us that they've spent almost $350,000 fueling generators just to pump clean water into the community.
People have to be tired of not having normal at this point.
Eso es cierto.
The United States Army Corps of Engineers is hoping to have full power restored on the island by June, just as this year's hurricane season begins.
It's the biggest challenge ever as far as devastation to an electrical grid system in the United States.
To help restore the system, they have spent the past 6 months clearing down trees. In many areas, helicopters are the only way to install power poles. dropping workers right on them to string the electrical wire.
Yesterday, I watched a helicopter work that was moving between 3 poles to string 4 wires across 3 poles. That takes about 5 hours.
Inside their headquarters, Colonel Kirk shows us a map of the power grid. The pink dots indicate where work still needs to be done.
How much of this is restoration? How much of it is focusing on making sure these lines are there post-hurricane season next year?
And it's really both.
The island starting to regain its color, but amidst the greenery, mountains and mountains of debris.
FEMA says there are millions of cubic yards of debris. Take a look. With this drone, you can see this one pile from one town, just metal, all from Hurricane Maria.
The images are daunting, but they're also a reminder of the progress so far. One of those glimmers of change, this 14-story retirement home right outside San Juan. The last time we were here, no running water. The stairs, the only way in or out.
What can I do, leave them here?
So many of the elderly residents in desperate need of help.
I can't walk too much.
The hallways pitch black. Months later, we return. The lights, the electricity back on.
We're actually taking the elevator up this time as opposed to the stairs.
The residents now with a renewed sense of hope.
Every time I wake up in the morning, I say life is good.
For many here, this tropical paradise is finally coming back to life. In Old San Juan, music fills the streets again, giving so many here a sense that the old normal is possible. A normal that Carmen Torres back in San Lorenzo is still waiting for. She knows it will take time, but she plans to rebuild because this is home.
You're going to rebuild though, right?
Huh?
You're rebuilding.
For Nightline, I'm Eva Pilgrim in Puerto Rico.
Hi everyone, George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel, and don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.